Hello, and welcome back to the introduction to the Linux command line on Bash the command line. Today we are going to be learning how to move around the command line to edit what's there. As you write long commands that are passing things from one place to another or stringing different arguments together, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to have a typo or, a brain freeze and then realize afterwards that you have to change something. So we're going to learn how to use the tool called Readline, which is part of Bash, to move around the command line, copy things, paste things, etc. Before we get started, though, I need to show you something. In your terminal, I don't know which terminal application you're using, so it may be different. So adjust this to whatever you're using. You may need to go into keyboard shortcuts, and inside of keyboard shortcuts, let me bring up those keyboard shortcuts again here. No, shortcuts. There we go. There's our shortcuts. Okay, inside those shortcuts, you see this line that says enable menu access keys. You want that turned off. So we don't want menu access keys because Alt-F is something that we're going to do to manipulate the command line, and we don't want that messing with our window and trying to open up the Windows menus. All right, so with that taken care of, now we can get to work learning how Readline works. So the black line at the bottom of the screen is there to show you what I'm doing when what I'm typing doesn't show up on the screen. You'll get what I mean in just a moment. So I am at the beginning of the line right now, and I want to get to the end of the line. So I can type ctrl-e. See, you saw that at the bottom of the line? All right, now if I want to get back to the beginning of the line, I can hit ctrl-a. So I might have realized, oh shoot, I needed to sudo that. So I can go back to the beginning of the line, and I can go sudo chmod. Now, maybe I want to go forward a word. So Alt-F is going to take me forward a word. And you know what? I don't want that R. I want something else. Of course, that's absurd. I don't really want something else there. That's not actually, an argument for this command. So what I need to do now is I need to delete everything from my cursor back a word, right? So I'm going to press Alt and backspace. And I'm going to do that again, Alt and backspace. And now I can just hit R, and I've got it back to where it was. So if I wanted to erase the thing that's in front of my cursor, then I would do Alt and D. Okay, so shoot, I didn't mean to erase that. I actually want to put it back. So I'm going to hit Control-Y. I could also do Alt-D and then move it someplace else. Like I want to put it over here. So Control-Y. All right. So I'm actually going to use Alt backspace to get rid of that, and hit backspace again because it didn't erase the space. Now I'm going to hit Control-E to get to the end, and I'm going to hit Control-Y to put that at the end. And see, this takes some muscle memory to do this on a regular basis, because there's a tendency to just hit those arrow keys if you don't get used to using the tools properly. So there is a way to move one character at a time using the control keys, but that really, to me, that it makes more sense if you're just going, 2 or 3 characters over. Just use the arrow keys, right? And doot 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 doot. I know you can't see that on the screen capture at the bottom, but trust me, I'm arrow keying. All right. So again, I want to go to the beginning. It's Ctrl-A. Go to the end. Ctrl-E. If I want to go backward a word, Alt-B. 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 If I want to go forward a word, Alt-F. 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 If I want to cut a word, then the word forward, then it's Alt-D. I can put it back. I can paste it anywhere I want with Alt-Y. Sorry. My bad. Control-Y. Let's go backward, 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 forward a word. All right, so I want to cut this word from there backwards. So this time I'm going to do Alt backspace. And I can put it right back where it was, or I could move it someplace else. Let's say I want to put it here for giggles. Control-Y puts it there. Whoops, I didn't want that there. That was a mistake. Alt backspace. Alt B, 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 B. Oops, F. Alt F. Give it a space. Control-Y. Oh, I have an extra space, so I can just hit delete. So that is the basics. In 7 minutes, you now know how to move around the command line, how to cut and paste a word from whatever you've got written in there, and how to just edit the things you've written on the command line. I'm going to teach you 2 more quick things that you won't be able to see my keystrokes, but I'll just tell you what they are. You have a history of commands that you have typed into Bash. And as you see, you can move through that history. All I'm doing right now is using the arrow keys. Whenever you get to a command line like this, it can be an empty command line. If you hit up, you'll get the last thing you put in. You keep hitting up and you'll find, everything that's back in your history. Let's say you want to find one particular command. You can hit Control-R and then start typing the thing you're looking for. I want to find chmod. Not that one. There's another chmod command in here. Now I'm going to hit Control-R again. See, that's the one I want. Now I can either just hit enter to run that one, or let's say I want to go to the end of the line to type some more stuff. I can hit Control-E. Now it's accepted that, and I'm now at the end of the line. So if I wanted to type more things, I can type more things. One last thing I'm going to show you super quickly is that you can do completion of the file names. So we've got a file name up here called first script. So if I just type FI and hit tab, it'll give me the whole rest of the word. If you've got a bunch of words, it'll stop and say that there's more than one option. And you hit tab a second time and it'll show you what your options are. So you can type a couple more letters until you have one unique thing and can hit tab to finish. So using that tab completion will help save you a lot of accidental typos on long file names and will save you a bunch of time. So, all right, up, down, through the history, Control-R will help you find a command. If the first one you get isn't the right one, hit Control-R again until you find the one that you wanted. If you're stuck in here and you're like, I don't want any of these, you can just hit Control-C. Control-C is cancel. You'll find that useful in lots of different places. Okay, so that's 10 minutes, and there will be a cheat sheet and a link to the documentation for Readline so you can learn more. See you tomorrow.